Hello guys, welcome to my review for the LEGO Movie 2, the second part. Wait a minute. Why the hell am I made out of Lego? The LEGO Movie 2, the second part. And as you can see on the shelves behind me there, I love me some Lego. And I also loved me the LEGO Movie. That was one of the most biggest surprises and is one of my all-time favorite animated movies ever. The Lego Batman movie was also a great time, amazing movie, and the Lego Ninjago movie was fun as well. So yeah, I was a little bit excited for the Lego Movie 2, and no, I'm not doing the whole video in stop motion, because that would take too long with too much effort, and I just can't be asked to do it. So, let's get straight on with my thoughts on the Lego Movie 2, the second part. This is a movie I was pretty excited for. I was pretty hyped to see where this would go. And I enjoyed this movie overall. It had a lot of heart to it. It was fun. But it definitely has more issues, and it's definitely not as good as the first one. In my opinion, the first one is nearly flawless, and the Lego Batman movie really was like, had a couple things in there. But this movie, there's like big chunks of flaws I have. And that all comes down to the first half. Because the first half wasn't bad. It was still very, very entertaining to watch and to experience, with a beautiful animation, great action sequences, really creative stuff, and imaginative action sequences, of course, with the play of the children. It's just really, really entertaining stuff, and the characters all are amazing. The voice work for all of them is great. It's just the first half was just very, very generic animated kids movie stuff, which was really weak to me. And some of the jokes were also quite kiddish as well, saying that the first Lego movie was so mature, and the same with the Lego Batman movie. They're not really kids' movies, they're really everybody movies. And the Lego Movie 2 feels a lot more like it's trying to appeal to kids, which I don't mind, but at least make it appeal to everyone else as well. And the first half just was very bland to me. It was like, I was waiting for it to go somewhere, and there's just nothing interesting going on. It wasn't really developing our characters in any way, and besides some new musical numbers, I didn't think it did anything new or impressive in terms of the storytelling or anything like that. But then we got into the second half, and things got a lot more interesting for me, and I really started to enjoy this film. And there's a lot of twists and turns that happen in the second half that I really loved, that really turned around, that were actually quite surprising to me as well. The film also, in that last half, has some very, very surprising messages and meanings, which I also really, really appreciated. And they're really, really good things for people to know about. And I liked that stuff in there. I thought they did a lot of great stuff with the real world stuff and with the Lego stuff in that second half. But they didn't really touch on much on that in the first half, which is fine, but it did make the first half much weaker than the second half, which the second half of this movie I thought was great. It was so creative and imaginative. It was so new. It was something fresh, and I was like, there was a point where I was getting really bored of the movie, and I was like, I'm waiting for this movie to pick up, and then something happens, some twists happen, and some characters meet, and I was just like, yeah, I'm getting into this movie now. It was really fun. The voice work is great in these movies, as usual. There's a lot of fantastic sequences that I loved. Some of the action sequences are fantastic, really, really great stuff. A lot of the characters, in my opinion, are fine. Like, it does sideline quite a lot of main characters from the first one, especially with some of the villains from the first one. Really nowhere to be seen in this movie at all. There's some really good references all about. The main character of Emmett, I actually really liked in the film for the second half. The first half, I found him to be quite an unlikable character, to be honest. But Wildstar, I actually thought had the most prominent development for the movie. But for the first half of the film, no character does anything, really. It's just people walking about and exploring things, and it just doesn't do anything for me. But the second half just does so much more with its story, and I feel like that's the movie it wanted to make, but it just needed setup for that. And this movie isn't made by Lord & Miller, who made the first one, and I feel like it lacks in that very interesting direction that the first one took. And it doesn't really feel as coherent. It's a very well-paced film, it's very fast-paced, it's very entertaining to watch and experience. It lacks in a few aspects for me on that side note, and it just doesn't feel as better paced or as entertaining or as rewatchable as the first one, and not even the Lego Batman movie as well. And that sort of disappointed me a little bit. I'm not saying the movie was disappointing overall. I still enjoyed the movie. It definitely wasn't a bad experience. I recommend you see it. It's a fun, awesome Lego-y time. And it's just fun to see really good Lego animations on the big screen. and I think it's a great thing to see. It's a unique thing out there, and I'm happy there's 4 movies out there that are made out of Legos. It's fun. It's entertaining to watch. It's something that's unique and fresh, and I like that. But a lot of this movie I did feel quite bland with, and it's not that the movie was bad, it's just that I was waiting for things to happen. And when they did happen, they surprised me, and I enjoyed the movie. The music was also very, very good in the film. There was a lot of hits, I think, in the film. There's a song that's gonna get stuck in some people's head. Jokes aside, this movie is entertaining as heck. You know, you can watch this movie, turn your brain off, animated, fun. You know, it's completely harmless entertainment. But I did think it lacked in a couple of aspects, and I felt that the first half, they mainly did set up. The whole first action sequence with the Duplo thing, I thought could have been a lot better, a lot longer, a lot more dragged out. And I felt that when it cut to like 5 years later, to when there'd been the Apocalypseburg, it sort of felt very abrupt and very quick. I thought they could have dragged out that a lot longer to make really the first half a bit more slow burning, a bit more setup developing, and I think it would have made it stronger as a result. And it did feel like they made that first half, and they made parts of this movie, and they realized we haven't really got anything unique here, and they sort of like tacked on the ending. Even though I loved what happened in the ending, it doesn't mean it worked well. I was happy to see that it happened, and I'm happy to see these messages put across, but sometimes it didn't also work. Also, Bruce Willis is in this movie as Bruce Willis. That was great to see. I felt like the only person laughing at Bruce Willis jokes in this movie. There's also a lot of like Back to the Future and Matrix references and references to all these other movies and everything like that, which I really, really like. There's a lot of references and jokes and callbacks to the first one. And one thing that annoyed me, but I actually really enjoyed it, they kept cutting back to this banana guy. You see when you did the movie, but they did a joke with him, like he keeps falling over, and they do it like 15 more times, and I don't know why, but every time it was funny. I don't know why. It was entertaining for me, and yeah, I did really like the Lego Movie 2 at parts, but it was disappointing compared to the first one, but in no means is this a badly made movie. It's a very, very perfectly good movie, and it's a movie I'm happy to watch again and entertained by, just nowhere near of the amazement as the first one. Overall, I'm going to give the Lego Movie 2, the second part, a B. I'm also going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. Pretty entertaining. Not great, though. Guys, comment your opinions down below. What do you think of this movie? And of course, thank you for watching. Goodbye.